Hello, hello, and welcome to Hygiene Elevated Conversations and Innovations. So, today we are joined by Ashley Kear, and she is quite the artist and RDH. So, we are going to get to hear her story today. So, Ashley, I'm going to give you the floor, but I want you to kind of start off the conversation telling us a bit about your background and what led you to becoming a dental hygienist.
Okay. Well, I've been a dental hygienist for almost about 20 years now. So
Oh, wow.
long time. I graduated back in 2005 from VCU in Virginia Commonwealth University. And I got into hygiene. It's kind of a funny story. I actually wanted to go to school for art, but my parents were like, no, it's important. They were like, find a real job. And it was funny. It was back when the internet was kind of burgeoning and graphic design was kind of coming out. And my dad's military, come from a military family. They're like, what are you going to do with that? What exactly is your plan? And I didn't have a plan. So plan B was do something in healthcare. And I didn't really want to do nursing. My dad was pushing me very hard to do that because he was in pharmaceutical sales and he saw the career nurses had. And I just was like, that's not for me. I don't really care to work night shifts and weekends and things and deal with what they have to deal with. My mom's friend was a hygienist. And she suggested that because art skills, parlay maybe a little bit into hygiene. And I looked into that, and that's how I actually got into dentistry. So I have had no dental background before I got into hygiene. So I know a lot of people were assistants or something before, but not me. Nope. So I just flew into it that way and have been going ever since. So
Ashley, that is, yes. I also did not have any dental
oh,
background.
okay,
And so I just kind of went into it. I did nursing as a backup, and I am
good.
so glad I didn't get into nursing school. I get lost in hospitals.
They're
So
crazy.
they are
Yes, it's a
crazy.
maze. It's a maze. I
Yeah.
just didn't want to deal with other
Poop
bodily
with poop.
excrements and vomit. No, I was like, no, I'm not dealing with that. So,
And
No,
it's
I'm
so,
on the no experience club. I'm with
oh,
you guys.
you
All
are?
three of us.
Oh, that's so funny. I feel like everyone I've met has had some foot in the door. I feel like I haven't met too many people who just were like, start from
yeah.
scratch.
No,
Isn't
I
it?
didn't even know we cleaned below the gums. It was a mind-blowing experience
I
when we got
know.
there.
And I remember the first time when we were in like perio, because we had classes with dental students, and one of my yeah, we had a lot of our classes were the same as dental students were with dental students. We taught dental students how to scale in school. So my boss actually went to the same school as I did, and I was like, we taught you how to scale. So, but I'll never forget like sitting next, and they kept saying bruxism, and I was like, "What is bruxism?" I'm like, "What are they talking about?" And the girl who was sitting next to me, one of my fellow students, she was an assistant for. She's like, "Oh, it just means clenching and grinding," and I'm like, "Why don't they just say that?" Then that was like my moment. I was like, "I don't know anything," so it was kind of funny.
Going back to the whole nursing thing, isn't it the funniest? We all just kind of cringed of all the things that nurses have to deal with. But when we have a patient that's a nurse, they're usually like, "Oh, but teeth are so gross."
I know
Like,
they are.
"We're really not that bad." Really
all of
not.
them all of them say that, and
Yeah.
I was like, frankly, I was like, blood, that stuff doesn't, none of that bothers me. Food and none of that. Just I was like, I don't know how you deal with emptying, pots and things. Oh, no, no,
Yeah.
no, no.
Yeah. Way grosser things. So,
Yes, exactly. Oh, and they don't
yes.
wear masks sometimes when they do that, and that's bad. Yeah.
That's when splatter matters. For sure. All
That's
right. So Ashley,
Mhm,
you kind of told us you had an interest, you wanted to go into art, but how did
mhm,
you get your start with digital art
mhm.
and along with dental hygiene? Like how did you kind of marry those two interests together?
I had always kept doing any things in art. I always kept drawing. I used to do a lot of watercolor and ink. So, and I always had sketchbooks and things. And my brother at the time was actually dating a girl. I mean, this was years back, was dating a girl who was a graphic designer and owned a graphic design firm. And I was talking to her about it. She's like, you just need to draw on the iPad. And I was like, draw on the I was like, no, I don't think so. She's like, trust me. And she told me about this app called Procreate. She's like, that's what she does all her drawing in. And she's like, it's not what I technically do all my designing in, but I draw in that because it's a lot easier. And she's like, it's a learning curve. So I bought the app and I watched a couple videos on it. I'm just one of those people, I just have to get in and try it myself. I don't do well with like tutorials with things. I just want to find out on my own. And that's how I started doing digital stuff. And so I was just drawing random things, and I'd seen a lot of dental things out there, and I'm like, oh, I'm like, I mean, you've seen my ideas, there's some of them are crazy and whatnot. And I was like, I'm just going to start drawing things. And I did. And I would show some of my friends, and they were like, oh, you should put that on a shirt, or you should make stickers out of it. And I'm like, I have no clue how to do any of that stuff. But I just kept drawing, and I was in this group called Crafty Dental Professionals. It's on Facebook. And it's a lot of dental people, all sorts of dental people. And we kind of, people will sell stuff on there. People get feedback and things like that. So that group actually helped out a lot with things. I linked up with, she's actually a dental assistant on there, Julie, and she kind of helped me out with, she owns the shop called the Dental Gift Shop. She's been running it for a long time. And at first I was like, I don't want to link up with anyone. I'm very do it on my own. I just want to do it myself. I don't need any help. I think a lot of hygienists are like that. We're like, nope, we got it. We can do it. But she's like, no, let me help you. And she really did. She encouraged me a lot. And we still work together with a lot of things. Like I am not super crafty. I can paint and I can draw, but crafting is not my forte. So she puts a lot of my designs on shirts and other things. And I do the stickers, and that's stickers and some resin things. And that's it. That's it. But was probably more than what you asked for in the question.
No, that was exactly it. I didn't know. I mean, it makes sense that such a group would exist. I just never thought to look for one.
I know. And it had been there for a while before I even found it. And I don't even know how I found it. I think someone mentioned it in another hygiene group, and I was like, what is that? And it's gotten big. So it's really cool. So if you're not in it, it's fun to just look and see what other people are creating too, because I'd rather support someone else in the dental field who creates something than just buying it from a random person,
Yeah. Yeah. So what platforms are you selling on now?
Mainly Etsy that's the only place I sell my stickers from. I do have some designs I put on Amazon. I'm pretty selective with that because a lot of images will get stolen from Amazon and used on other platforms. Oh. So anything that I take a lot of time drawing, like this, for instance, I won't put that up on Amazon because I know someone's going to steal it or copy it somehow. And I just put really basic things on that. But any shirts like this are with Julie through the Dental Gift Shop, because she actually has a press and presses a lot of the shirts. She does candles and puts my designs and stuff on them. So everything else can pretty much be purchased through her site.
I'm curious. I've never even thought about that. I mean, obviously it's easy in the digital age to just like save image. What makes it easier on Amazon versus
because when you go and zoom in on it, they zoom up close and they can literally screenshot, and there's platforms that can take the background out of it.
Right.
And they don't watermark it on Amazon. Like some other platforms I've sold on Redbubble, they will watermark it, but you have to select for them to do that. And still, even on when you're searching the images, like just searching it on a shirt, they can still zoom in on the shirt and there's no watermark on it. So
gosh, there's so many nuances.
And believe me, I'm still learning things too. And because sometimes I'm like, how would they even do that? And then like sometimes, I'll just find out, like Julie's like, oh, well, they did it this way. And I'm like, I wouldn't even thought of that, So yeah.
Oh, Joffrey and I launched our apparel line last September, almost 1 year.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things we were like, oh, how hard could it be? Right.
It's a lot. Like people you don't know it till you start doing it. And then you're like, damn, this is not easy. This is not easy.
No.
So, yeah.
Oh gosh. Well, interesting. It's very interesting.
With ours, I think the most time consuming, like the most inconvenient thing is like sending packages out, which is like an exciting moment to send the package out. But
Yeah.
I personally put this stress on myself that I want to get their package out like immediately for them,
I know.
right? I
I
really
know.
want to put the package out, but I might be like super busy or I might be out of town
Mhm.
and it just like weighs me down. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have this package I need to send out. Even though like
Yes.
we have amplitudes of time, I just
You
can't get
need,
over it.
this is what I did. I work about 3 or 4 days a week. Usually I have off a Monday and a Friday. I designate those days as I get my orders out that day. I try not to do anything on the weekend unless I have to. Like tonight, I'm doing some orders because I work today. And then Friday, I'm volunteering for my son's field day, which I'm like, why did I do that? But I'm doing that. So I'm like, okay, I got to get stuff out during the week. But I found, because I was the same way, I'm like, oh, I have to get it out today. I want to get it out for them as soon as possible. But you get busy. So I just kind of had to, my husband helped with this too. He's like, you need to just designate a day so you're not like frantically thinking about this all the time. And I think that helps. I'm like, occasionally I'll do stuff on the weekends, but weekends I try to be like, that's my chill time or that's my family time. If you designate a time and stick to it, I think that helps out a little bit too.
That sounds exactly like time management and all the skills associated with that, and the beauty of being a dental hygienist and having so much flexibility to be an entrepreneur and be that creative person that you are. So
Yes.
I'm sure that helps that your husband is like, let's not make you crazy and make you a balanced person.
Yes, he's more practical with things like that. I'm like, oh, let's just do this. And he's like, no, just, he's an accountant. So he's way more
wow,
than I am. So yeah.
Such a numbers person.
Oh yeah. And I'm not that. That's why
I'm
one. All the numbers I want to know are teeth numbers and probing depths. That's it. That's all I do,
Yes, Ashley, let's be friends. My career aptitude test came back as a statistician, and I was like,
are you kidding me?
I don't think so. Like, no. What? Well, how can I retake that somehow? Because no.
Like, no, thank you.
Hey, actually, I'm curious. Do you dabble in art that's not dental related? Like, do you have like a whole other folder of other stuff?
I do. I've done a lot of commissions on I do it on a case by case basis with friends and stuff, but I do a lot of, for some reason, people got me to draw their like pet portraits. And I used to just do like houses. Like I've done people's houses and stuff like as Christmas gifts and things, but I've done a lot of pets lately. I just don't do people. I don't like drawing people. I don't know. I actually, I have a friend who's a hygienist and she is fantastic at it. She does an amazing job. And I'm like, that is not my style. But I have done some other designs and I do other things that are non-dental because my husband's like, well, why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? And I'm like, I am very niche with the stickers. So it's kind of like, it's hard to put something else on there because it'll just sit there for months and it won't sell. And I'm like, why did I even do that? Because other people have, like, hold on. What is one that I have here? I'm like sitting at my desk. Like this one, it's not super dental. It's not really that much dental related, but this has sat here for like ever. And I just am like, I was like, it's kind of dental, kind of not, but and it doesn't have teeth all over it. But, I put my feelers out with that for a little bit, but that didn't work too well. But I'll do some of the, the paintings and commission things, but I've been doing some digital ones instead, and people can print them out on their own because I can draw a lot faster on my iPad instead of doing a painting. And if you've never worked with watercolors before, it's one of those things you have to do in layers, and I can't just sit there and paint it and be done. I have to layer and layer and layer and wait for it to dry, and it takes it's a process. So I don't mind doing it, but it takes a lot of time. So I'm trying to get away from anything that takes up too much time. So
that's so interesting.
Yes, there's so many mediums out there with art, and that's what I like to do when I have time, but that's always fleeting. So,
And your aesthetic is very like saturated, bright colors.
mm-hmm. And it's funny because so my aunt is actually an artist, and she used to own a shop, and she would do, it's kind of like we have, I don't know if you're familiar with Washington, D.C., but we have a ton of little towns around, and some are very like historic. And so she used to have a shop in one of the little historic towns, and her art and stuff she did a lot of like, it's like primitive country stuff, and she paints a lot like that. She can paint realistic. I mean, she's went to school for that, but this is what she does. And she's had her style for like, oh my gosh, as long as I can remember, since I was born in like the 80s. And I was struggling. I remember, I think I was in hygiene school still, and we had Thanksgiving, and I was just like, I don't have a style. And she's like, everyone has a style. I was like, well, I'm not like this, or I'm not like that. She's like, you have your own style, and just stop trying to put a label on it. Just do what you like, and it comes. And now I look back, and I was like, I definitely do have a style. But before, I just was kind of lost. I was like trying to be like, oh, well, I want to look like this person, what this person does, or what that person does. And she's like, you can't do that. You just have to do what you do, and that's your look. And the more you do, you'll be able to see a pattern with it too. So I struggled with that a lot at first. And I think a lot of artists struggle with that too, because you see something you like and you want to emulate it, but your style's not going to look exactly like that. So it was a struggle at first, but
so
I think
you find that your art, like you're pretty influenced by being a dental hygienist, or what do you feel like your biggest kind of influence is?
I don't know. It's just, I kind of just fly by the seat of my pants. It's like whatever I'm into at that moment, or whatever I'm like, oh, I know some stuff I do is trendy, but then some stuff I'm like, I'm going to do this because I like it. And if people like it, great. If not, I like it too, like, I mean, it's been all about, the Taylor Swift and the Barbie thing and stuff like that. And I've drawn a couple people with my stickers with that, but it's very sketchy looking. Like, hold on. I think I have like my Taylor Swift one. Like, this is the most like,
oh my gosh.
It says, I knew you were trouble when you walked in at the bottom of it. So that's the most like
so good.
I will get with it, too. But yeah, it's just kind of like whatever is in at the moment. I really like you said, like saturated colors. I love like retro vibes and stuff like that. So a lot of my things are inadvertently just like that. So I don't know. I just kind of do it. And I'm like, if people like it, great. If they don't, that's okay too. I feel like I just have to get my idea out on paper, and then I'm like, okay, it's out of me. I feel better,
Yeah.
So it's therapy too. It really is. So
now I don't have Procreate. And iPad is on my list. Like one day I'm going to make that happen.
Yes, it's only
I have been working so much with Canva. I feel like I'm becoming a little Canva artist. Like I have made so many projects, especially in the last like 4 weeks. I've been on it like crazy.
And Canva's a great tool for that, because at first I didn't know what Canva was. Like about maybe a year and a half ago, I didn't know what Canva was. I'm like, what is that? And then I'll do some things for it. Like I'll do some Instagram posts for like my office, my work and stuff. And certain things I'll pull from Canva, or I'll make a basic thing, but then I put it in Procreate, because you can't really draw in Canva like you can in Procreate. And I'll change certain things up, or I'll change the colors, or I'll change this and that. But if you like to draw, like that's a good app for like definitely designing things and putting things together. But I try to make it my own and put it in Procreate and put my little spin on it too. But it's a learning curve with Canva. It's definitely a learning curve.
Well, and they just released like the update, and it's like a whole thing.
Is it?
I watched the keynote and I was like, gosh, guys, come on. I'm too old for this.
Like, quit changing it.
Stop it. Thank you, but stop it.
Leave it be.
Okay, I remember being in hygiene school, and one of the assignments was like we had to make a brochure about something. I
we did
don't
that
even
too.
remember.
Oh,
We had to make a brochure. And
it's
I was like, this is such a complete waste of time. Never in my life will I ever be asked to make a brochure. Amanda, I have proof. I send all my brochures to Amanda. I'm like, hey, how does this brochure look? Like, I have never made more brochures in my life.
Yeah, you've probably made at least like 10 this year, if not more.
Yes. And
oh my
so
gosh.
I love Canva for that because there
Mhm.
are already some templates to get
Yes.
inspiration from.
Yes.
And then you can change everything. Like
Yes.
it's
Yes.
nothing, it never comes out like how you saw it, but
Oh no.
it was just like a great phase one of your project.
Yeah. It's like
And,
it's a big stone.
and I really appreciate that about it.
Okay, I want to go back to this brochure. We did no brochure. I don't remember a brochure in hygiene school. What was this brochure about that you guys had to
I
do?
think the brochure paired with another research assignment.
Mhm.
So
I
like
think
we
that's just like
researched something.
or something.
Like, for example, xerostomia, and then you had to create, like, a xerostomia brochure or something that, like, went with it. It was, like, all a thing.
Yeah.
This
I
wasn't
think
like your table clinics project?
No, that was different.
Huh.
I think ours, I can't remember what we had to, but I feel like I remember doing that in like Word or something like that. We had to
Oh,
do
what
it.
other option did you
Right.
have?
We did. I mean, this was 2003. We didn't,
Well,
so.
Speaking of table clinics, do you guys remember what yours were?
Oh yeah, I still have my little thing, like my
Don't.
headliner.
I think my partner took that. I think I pretty much did all the artwork for it though. But don't ask me to remember. At hygiene school, a lot of that, I put that out of my mind because that was trauma. So
Oh, yeah.
Elmer, okay, we interviewed Elmer on one of our previous
Mhm.
podcasts. He was my partner for everything, like did all the work for everything. I just showed up. We dominated table clinics, guys. Like we won all the prizes. Like I think 3 of the 5 prizes Elmer and I won. We were
What was the project? You gotta tell us about it.
dental emergency responders. So
Oh.
basically, the role that a dental emergency or dental office could play in like a mass natural disaster, for instance.
Wow.
So like
That's
you have
interesting.
basic first aid kits, like you have like a triage kind of setup. Like there's
Mhm.
more dental offices in communities,
Mhm.
but I think it kind of happened right after Hurricane Katrina, I want to say.
Oh.
And that was kind of what we had worked off of. Like we know CPR, we know first aid, like we have some basic knowledge, to keep our hospitals from being so overwhelmed. Let them focus on the things that are a big deal. Like,
Yeah.
and that
I
think we somehow integrated some extra training, like allowing hygienists to do sutures.
Oh, I would love to do that. I would sign up.
Right?
Yes, I would sign up. Yes, yes.
So yeah, so we did some. It was honestly a really great project, but
That's cool.
no
Yours sounds way
brochure.
cooler than mine.
Yeah.
We made cookies with xylitol sugar in them.
Oh, how was
It was something about xylitol. It was like a very easy topic we had chosen.
Easy was good in hygiene school sometimes. You needed to take a break from it.
So back to your creative process, Ashley. So when you have an idea, you kind of said you just like want to get it out, but like you gather inspiration from like whatever's in pop culture right now, like obviously Taylor Swift, Barbie. I think I saw your Bridgerton stuff, like
Oh my God, I love Bridgerton. So
I love Bridgerton too, and I loved your images. I like showed a bunch of people at work. I'm all, have you guys seen these?
oh my God, I have to do something with teeth with Bridgerton. So I actually have some more ideas to do, but I'm waiting for the next half to come out, I think. So
what is your process when you get that inspiration?
Oh my gosh. If I don't have time to do anything, I literally just put a note in my phone. I have like a list of ideas and I'll come back to it. I try to do a couple of posts out so I can see what I want to do, but I try to alternate something with like a picture of a sticker because no one wants to see like all my stickers all the time. I was like, I like funny stuff. I mean, you've seen my humor. So I always like to do something fun or interesting. We need a laugh. Always need a laugh.
Yes.
So, and it's funny, I'll have people randomly message me like, "Oh my God, that's so funny. I love seeing your post." I was like, "Good," because I don't know if anyone else gets my humor, but that's okay. That's okay.
I
You
enjoy
can't
your
be
humor
everybody's
very
cup of
much.
tea, right?
Yes, it's just a little something to brighten your day because it brightens my day. And I'm like, if it brightens other people's day, that's fantastic. So,
So, is there like another type of theme besides like just pop culture that you kind of find yourself drawn to?
I don't know, just anything. I'm really into like, um, I like tarot and astrology and all that stuff. So I'll throw some of that stuff in there. Although I know we're science based, but I was like, you know what? Magic is just science we don't understand yet. So I'm like, that's what I like all that kind of stuff. And I'm a plant nerd. Like I love gardening and I love all that kind of nature and that stuff too. So I don't know. It's just I try to kind of keep things almost like a little seasonal if I can too.
Okay.
I love the seasons. I mean, here in Virginia, we're lucky we get all four. So I kind of keep things like right now, it'll be kind of like summery things and whatnot. And then when we get to August, I'll just kind of start to transition to fall. Fall's my favorite. So I do a lot of Halloween things and a lot of stuff like that. So I want to say a lot of it's probably really seasonal now that I look back at my stuff and think about it. I think that really plays a big role in things too.
Yeah. So you had mentioned your aunt. I don't know that you necessarily said that she was a inspiration for you, but are there other artists out there that kind of have influenced your style or just influenced how you work as a designer and as an artist?
You know what? I follow a lot of artists and I just, cause for on your For You page, stuff just comes up. I was like, oh, their stuff is cool. I like it. So I'll follow it. Or I like Pinterest and I'll just scroll through and look at, oh God, I know Pinterest and
It's
I have so much stuff pinned. And it was funny. Like I've been doing a lot of AI anime stuff. I used to love anime stuff back in like middle school. And I'm like, this is my middle school self. I'm satisfying with these anime things here too, because I used to draw a lot of anime and I'll look back through my sketchbooks. I'm like, God, I was like obsessed with it. And even though it was one of those things, we didn't really watch it. I just saw the things they had, we had the anime, the books back then. So it was hard to get like tapes and DVDs on anime back then. But I like that too. But it's not one thing that I really look to influence. I just am kind of like whatever, spurs my fancy at the moment, I guess. So that's, it's not really one particular artist.
I was never into anime, but Powerpuff Girls, obviously.
Yes.
And then I had a cat named Totoro. So,
oh, cute. Oh my gosh.
He was a big cat.
Oh my gosh, so cute. So cute. I loved Tear Panda. Do you know what that is? The fat little, hold on. I did make a sticker with him, but I think no one knows what he is, but oh my God, I thought he was like the cutest little thing. Tear Panda, like I think tear meant like lazy. So he's like a fat little like lazy panda. Oh. And he's just like on the team.
I've probably seen him.
You probably had. And I'm really surprised at myself that I haven't done anything with Pokemon because, like, I love Pokemon. Like, I played that, like, all the time. And it's funny because my son now, over COVID, we got into Animal Crossing. Did you play Animal Crossing? It's on his Switch, but it originated in Japan and it's really cute. It's all these little, they're like cute little characters and you basically make a town with them. And that's what we did during COVID when we didn't have anything to do. We built our little town. It's really cute. And it goes through the seasons too. And there's little like assignments and things you can do. So it's fun, but he's like, you should make a dental Animal Crossing character. And I was like, I could, but I don't know.
Okay, imagine a dental game. This is going to be so nerdy. You get to design your own dental office.
That would be fun. I would like that.
And like what that would look
Yes.
like.
It's almost like The Sims, but but dental. Oh my gosh, I would totally do that.
Interesting. I know. I feel like maybe I would. I'd be like, oh, this is what my operatory would look like. It'd be glorious.
Yeah,
I want to like have a little like closet in there of my operatory that like houses my scrubs, so they're not at home. They're just like waiting for me. All clean, perfect.
And so change. You could have
like,
a little like
coordinated. Yeah, it's like my operatory / my like personal space. All the things I like will be in there.
Let's do a collab. We need this. This should be a thing. Like dental Sims.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that would be really funny.
That would be fun.
It's fun to put like, if you've never done it, any of the AI and just like do, because you've probably seen some of my AI stuff with dental offices. Like I've done different like themes. That's fun. I'm just like, whatever it comes up with, I'm like, okay, it looks weird, but I think it's fun. So
where I've seen that on a trend on some other dental products as well. What app is that? Is it Procreate?
It's Bing. It's Bing. And it's hold on, let me look it up. I have it on my phone. I can't remember. You have to download the Bing app, and it's called Image Creator. And you can do like
Bing, like the old search engine?
Yeah. Oh. And it comes like, you probably can't see it, but it's got like, you can you can't see it. But you can type in like a prompt and stuff, and the more specific you get, the better it is, but sometimes it's worse. But that's where a lot of the ones are, because a lot of the ones you have to pay for, like some of the ones that are really good that you see on people's Instagram accounts, that's like Mid-Journey and things that they pay for. This is just a free one. My brother actually told me about this one, and I'm just like, I'm not using it to like make money off of. I'm just using it to do random posts. So it's fine if it looks a little jacked up. I don't care. It's kind of funny. So
I feel like learning how to speak to AI, especially for images, is such a skill. Like I have tried multiple things, and I'm like, what language are you speaking? Because nothing that I just said is what you gave me.
You have to be really specific, and it is about how you word it too, because sometimes I'll put something up and I was like, where did that come from? And then I'll switch words around, and I'm like, okay, that's better. So it's I don't know. Sometimes I'll put in things and it'll be perfectly, I'm like, I'll get what I want. And I'm like, nope, I have no clue what that is. So
I was working on a sticker last night for Under One Roof, and we were wanting to update our loops sticker. And so I was trying to get AI to prompt, and it was an AI app within Canva and dental. And I was like, cartoon dental loops. Yeah. And it was like a panda wearing glasses. I was like, what? Yeah. So it's a language for sure.
It is. And sometimes I'll take, images I get, and I'll just like completely change it up. I'm like, okay, I can work with that, but let me just fix it. Because sometimes it's just like, oh God, where did you get that from? So yeah.
Well, actually, you post very like regularly and frequent online. Do you like pre-plan your content, or do you are you just really active?
I used to not. It just used to be like, okay, this is what I feel like posting, but I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do like this many posts this week, or like I have a couple of posts done for the next couple weeks because we're going on vacation, and I'll put those in to kind of pre-post. Like I just like to post a lot in the morning because I feel like people will look at it, before they go to work and just scroll through. I find the best engagement with that, but I try to plan some things out, and then sometimes something comes up and I was like, I'll do something different. But I try to have like a couple things out, so I'm not like scrambling each time, like, oh, I'm going to do this or I have to do that. So I've become better with that, because before it was just like fly by the seat of my pants. This, I want to post this today, so I'll do this. But that really wasn't the best time management there. So use that buzzword again. So
do you feel like as a creative person, sometimes planning your social media posts like drains your creativity, or do you not have a problem with that?
No, I don't think it drains my creativity, because it's funny. Like I do a lot of the Instagram posts for our office, like I'll make up stuff, and my doctor's like, I just can't think of anything. And I'm just like, oh, how about this, this, and this? And she's like, this is why I get you to do this. Cause she's like, I would be sitting there for like 2 hours and I couldn't think of anything. So
Wow.
I hate actually having to like type things out and put all, like I have like in my notes the hashtags saved that I normally use because it's a pain.
Yeah, no, it's such a time saver.
You know, but that's just, I don't think I'll ever like have a lack of content of what I want to post. I just want it to seem kind of cohesive and organized, like a kind of like a little themes at once too. But then if it's not, it's not. So
yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So how long have you been doing the social media for your office, and do you get paid extra for that? I'm curious.
I do. Like she'll pay me extra for it, because if I do it at home, she'll sometimes text me and be like, hey, can you put this up or do this, and I'll do it at home. Or if I have some time at work, like say a patient cancels, I'll just write our blog posts for our website. I'll write up something pretty quick and do something, because I don't know, my boss is like, you just do it so much. She's like, I think you're used to it, so your brain just knows how to work it fast. And I'm like, I guess so. But because she had people that was doing our social media and doing that. And she's like, I was like, how much are you paying them? And she told me, and I was like, and that's all you're getting for it? I was like, that doesn't seem like a fair deal. And she's like, well, do you just want to do it? She's like, I'll just, add some money in there for you or whatnot. Or if I don't have a patient, I'll do it. Do we have a doggy?
She hates other people existing, and she can just sense other people exist. So
okay, Amanda came to my house just yesterday, and my chocolate lab was so naughty the whole time.
Naughty.
And I mean, I could go days and that dog will just ignore me. But the minute I have company, she is the most annoying creature.
She was very vocal about.
She's just so big and goofy, and she just
labs. That's like labs.
And just jumps right on and pushes Amanda out of the way.
She did.
Oh my gosh,
that's so funny. And it's funny. I grew up. I had a black lab growing up. And she was it's like they're very goofy, and their whole like body wags when they wag. So their tail is like a lethal weapon.
Their tail is lethal.
And it hurts. It hurts.
It's like a switch.
You. Yes. I've been hit by it. But our lab was she loved everyone. She was very sweet. But everyone I know who had a chocolate lab, that's how they are. One of my best friends is funny. She's actually a pharmacist now, and she's the one I bug with questions about that. But I was like, man, Riley just could be so aloof sometimes, but he's like, he loved his family, but everyone else is kind of like, I don't care about you. But if you want to be with my family, no, you can't. They're mine.
Yeah. She owns me.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
That is pretty much what happened.
Funny.
That is so funny.
Anyway.
Okay. Actually, I think that is really neat that you make the social media posts for your office, and that you're going to get paid.
Yes.
And you're getting paid for it. I want to know, like, what are your future plans? Where do you see this going?
You know what? It's funny because I've had people ask me that, and I'm like, you know what? I don't know. I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants right now. And I like doing my stickers, and people are like, oh, are you trying to get bigger? And I'm like, not really. I'm like, I'm kind of happy where I'm at. And I like doing this because I do this. I mean, the term starving artist is true. You only make but so much money off this stuff. And, if it gets to be too much of a burden with things in my life, I will put it down. I mean, I have no problem with that. But I like to create. It's my therapy. It's my release. And if other people enjoy it too, I like it. But I don't need to be like, oh my gosh, I want to dominate the dental, merch or art field. I don't care about that. If people like my stuff, that's great. But I like seeing what other people make too. I like, I think that's the thing as an artist. I like seeing what other people create. Like, oh, that's a cool idea too. I think there's, room enough for everyone to do what they want in their thing. And if it's something that makes them happy and they enjoy it, that's great. But I'm not here to dominate. I mean, yeah, it's nice to make some extra money. It does. I mean, it's a little something. It does help, but that's not I'm not here to like dominate things and, and try to make this my sole living, because I don't think it would ever do that. I mean, how much money you make off selling stickers and t-shirts, it's nominal. So but I think if I ever get sick of it or tired, or I'm one of those people, like if I get fed up with something, sometimes I'm done. I'm out. And I could see that happening sometime, but I'm hoping it doesn't. But for now, I'm happy with where it's going. And I've had people just want to, collaborate, or they want to commission me to do things, but I'm pretty selective with the commissions because it does take time. It takes a lot of time. And like, I know what I want to create for myself. And if I feel like doing something that day, if not, fine, I don't have to. But if I'm doing a commission, I'm like, oh God, I got to work. And then I got to come home and work on some more stuff. And I can just create for myself and for what I want for my platform. And that's fine. I'm not on like a time crunch or anything for anyone else. And then I'm always worried about, oh, are they going to like it if it's not what they want? And it can get hairy with that stuff. So I'm kind of like this was one thing I've learned to say no in the past couple of years. I've learned to be better about that, because I think we're all kind of people pleasers and things. And it's hard to do that. So I think this has helped me, force me to say no for some things, because, we have kids. I have a kid, I have to do stuff with him too. It's not like when I was single before and I had the time to do extra things. So, I think that, where I'm at, I'm happy with it. And I just I can see where it goes. It's great. And with my hygiene career, I'm only working part-time now. I love my office. I knew my doctor before I even started like working with her. We were friends first. And so I had stayed home for a couple of years, like during COVID, and I had stayed at home a couple of years with my son before that. And I wasn't working. That's when I kind of got back into art. And she had opened her office. So when I was home, I was actually a patient of hers. And she's like, when are you coming back to work? I need you to come back. I need a hygienist. And when my son started school, that's when I started working. And she's been really flexible with my schedule. Like I can go and drop him off and pick him up from school and do that. And she's been really flexible with that. So I feel like I'm in a good place now. And I kind of I'll see where things take me. I'm kind of at the go with the flow period in my life. I don't want to force things anymore. If something happens, great. If it doesn't, that's okay too. So
I think that's actually like
the dream.
Totally perfect. Like that you're just in it for the hobby and the fun and bringing like joy and laughter and happiness to other people. And I love that. I love that you're helping uplift our profession. And so I hope you keep doing it for a long time.
I think I will. I have one of my friends who told me there's a term. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of like light worker. Have you heard of that term before? Like a person's a light worker. They're here to just bring like joy and happiness to the world. And they're there for their own vibe. Them just being there and having their own vibe will radiate onto other people's and spread, and it causes ripples. And these ripples just go through the world, and you don't have to impact a whole bunch of people. If you do, great, but even if you impact one or two people, it keeps spreading. And so he's like, that's what you are. And I'm like, what? And so I had to go deep dive and look at all this stuff, and I was like, maybe that is what I am. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. So yeah, I'll take that term.
Okay, Ashley, I'm curious. You have like a whole sticker stash in your like desk area there. Do you print your own stickers?
No, I don't. Oh God, that was a process finding someone I liked to print my stickers, because I went through a couple different print companies, and some of them I'm like, oh, I don't really like them. They look cheap, or the laminate's not good, or I just, I wasn't satisfied with how they were. So I went through a couple of companies, and I found there's a few different ones I use, and I thought about printing them here, but then again, I'm not crafty, and you have to laminate these vinyl stickers to make sure that they stay. Like you can put them on water bottles and stuff. And I was like, I don't want that responsibility. I'm like, I will just order in bulk and do that's what I do. We had actually, my husband had thought about buying so a lot of these print companies, they'll have like these machines. We looked at, it's like $10,000 for these machines that will cut and do everything. And he's like, well, if we do that, then you can start maybe printing stickers for other people and doing this and doing that. And I'm like, I'm not trying to make this another job to do. He's like, because I would have to do that to make, justify purchasing that machine. So for now, like we thought long and hard about it. We went through all like the scenarios with that. So I just outsourced that. And there's a few different companies that I like and work with, but that was a process in finding one that I liked, that was consistent and worked well. So yeah.
I can relate to that. I've gone through a couple sticker companies as well. Printing our stuff, and there's definitely been some I'm like, we're not ordering there again.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know if I can like sell these. I'm like, maybe I can give them away as a freebie or something, but it's just, it's all trial and error. And even with like shirts, if you like some of the companies that print on shirts, like Julie, who does my shirts, she'll buy I'll design it. She'll buy the screens for it and she'll press them because she's got a heat press, like the big machine that presses it. And she went through a couple different companies because some of these ones that do like direct to garment printing, some of them are better than others because some of the stuff starts peeling up. And, I'm like, because she's had some stuff and we're like, okay, this is not like a quality product. We're not going to use this again, because I'm like, I don't want to do something for someone and, it looks crappy after like 5 washes, so yes. It's a learning curve, and there's no set thing out there to tell you use this or use that. It's a lot of reading Reddit and looking and seeing what other people reviews say. And it's work. It's not like, because some people will ask me, well, who do you use or what do you use? And I was like, everyone's different. It depends what you want. There's no right or wrong answer, So I'm like, you kind of have to do the research yourself, because I'm like, I don't want to give away all my secrets because I worked long and hard to find out this stuff, and some people, I'm like, I'll share it with, but some people, I'm just like, no, you got to do the research yourself, because what worked for me may not work for you too. So, but I'll have to let you know who I use for stickers so you can try them out too.
I'll definitely take a dabble, give it a whirl.
Yeah.
As I'm traveling to like the different hygiene programs, I always bring like a gift for all the students, and it'll have some swag from Signature Dental Partners, but then it will also have some like Hygiene Elevated stickers in there. And then Signature will also get them like face masks and lotion, or like eye masks, or a candle, or just all these little like nice things. And I always start every presentation with like a multiple choice question before I even introduce myself. And so my very first slide, it just says, why did you choose hygiene? And like A is to marry a dentist. B is to like take care of people. And then the list goes on, right? And so they're all like already laughing before the presentation has started. And then I just play on it. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you guys are all here for B. You want to help people. And I just really advocate for the students to take care of themselves before they take care of their patients. And so that's kind of where like the starting point of that gift came from. But they absolutely love the stickers. It is so cute and so like cool. And it, when they put them on their water bottles and they're like, want to sport our stickers. And I'm like, it worked. They liked it. We put a smile on their face.
Yes. I think, I'm like, who doesn't like stickers? Like, come on now. Although I'm one of those people who it's hard for me to put stickers on stuff because I'm like, I don't want to waste it. What if I don't like it? It's like that, you get all those sticker sheets from when you were a kid and you're like, and then you don't wind up putting it on anything. And you're like, well, shoot, I should have just used the sticker. You can get another.
You and I are the same person, Ashley. So many. I'm like, we got this sticker, and I'm like, I refuse to put it on something, but it was from the Southern component,
Oh,
Southern
it's
Utah thing.
cute.
And I'm like,
Yes.
it's got to count. So
Yes.
Wait,
I feel like
Oh
I
my
wind up
So-
using them as bookmarks, or I put them in a scrapbook.
Oh my gosh. You put it on a water bottle, use it on something.
Oh,
I know she won't do it, but I have to tell you, a few summers back, I think it was probably 3 summers ago, or right before school started,
Mhm.
and we have a counter depth fridge in our kitchen, and so there's
Okay.
just not a lot of space when they blend in right with the countertop.
Yeah.
They're not like as deep as
Yeah.
other refrigerators. So I was asking my husband, like, I think we should get one in the garage for
Mhm.
like your guys' lunch boxes, maybe just beverages out there.
Yes.
But sometimes if we have like other stuff in there, it just got really hard to get everyone's like
Yeah.
lunch boxes smashed in.
Yeah.
So long story, I'm giving you a lot more details than I have to, but we have a fridge in the garage now.
Mhm.
And that is where all my stickers live. Like every sticker that we like goes on the garage fridge.
We have a garage fridge too, and it is where the stickers go to. Or if I have some that are messed up, I'll stick the mess ups on the fridge. Like I have like just random like I think the last thing I put up, we got some, remember Clearly Canadian? We got some Clearly Canadian from Costco. And I was like, the sticker's going right here. So, but yeah, we have the garage fridge is a game changer. It's nice.
I don't have a garage fridge. I have a garage freezer.
We do. We have a freezer too. We have lots of meat in the freezer.
Yes. Oh no,
We
we
do
have
have a
half a cow and a whole hog. So yes.
Oh my gosh. We have like, I don't want to know how many steaks, and like we just go to Costco and just buy stuff, and it just like accumulates. My husband, every time he's like, I need more of this. I was like, do we really? But I don't know. It's just,
well, we've got a deep freezer in the basement, and my in-laws at their house, in their basement, their freezer is actually a standing freezer. So you open it like a refrigerator, and you can see everything.
See,
And
that's nice.
I'm like, oh, that's genius. I have no idea what's in mine.
We literally thought about doing it because Costco had the standing freezers, because we have the one, and we were just like, oh man, maybe we should do that. And I was like, maybe we can give this one to your mom, because his mom has a garage. She has like, does she have 2 garage fridges? Because she has one she keeps the Prohawk in, and and that's the stinky one, so we don't go in this one.
I knew exactly what you were referring to.
About. So she's like, that's in this fridge, but then the other one, because she grows so much stuff at home, you open it up, there's like lemongrass and all sorts of like stuff in there. And so I know your in-laws are Cambodian, your husband's Cambodian, my husband's Cambodian too, so yeah.
So the smelly dish she's talking about, it's like fermented fish.
Yeah, it's fermented.
Oh
no, but it's good. You just use a little bit of it and stuff, and you don't like, I don't mind. I think it's fine. My husband does not like it. He's like,
oh,
no,
my husband doesn't like it either.
He's like, Prohawk's in it, I'm not eating it. He's like, nope. Like, I like this curry thing his mom does, and he's like, nope, not eating it. So
interesting.
He's picky.
Actually, are there many Cambodian dishes that you have learned to make?
I make so I'll make the stir fry. We do like the Cambodian salad, like the stir fry with the like the lettuce and tomato and the onion, and then you put the stir fried beef on that. We'll do that. My husband will make katiu. We'll make salamanchu. I'm like prattling off names. Like I hope you know. If you know them, great. If you don't, the katiu is like pho, like Cambodian version of pho.
Oh.
So he makes that. And then salamanchu it's like a soup that is a tamarind base. So it's like, we call it sour soup too. And it's got like, we put pineapple, chicken, tomato, and this type of squash, like fuzzy squash. We put that in that too. And what else do we make? His mom does a lot of like stir fry stuff, or like she'll make the curry, like the red curry with the noodles and the chicken and some type of potato. I don't know. Every time I ask her what it is. I know
exactly. Yes, I know that dish.
Yes. Yeah, with the green beans, like that's my favorite thing. She makes that, and then she makes it's actually, some of the food she cooks is like Vietnamese too. It like kind of translate over, and she calls it like the pancake, but it's like crepe it's got the pork and the bean sprouts and stuff in it, and you put it in the lettuce.
Okay, bun chow. It's like yellow, the yellow.
Yes. I
know how to make that one. Actually.
I can make that
I don't cook often, but that's one of the dishes I can do.
Yeah, I can make that one. It's just labor intensive. So, it's not something you can make on a weeknight. So, but those are pretty much some of the things we learn. And we've been trying to, I love when she makes the beef stick with like the lemongrass and stuff in it, just you grill.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So we took my mother-in-law's marinade, put that exact same beef stick marinade on carne asada meat. And then we grilled it and we made tacos. Talk about fusion. They were so good.
That should go in your sister's restaurant.
Yes. Oh my
God. It
gosh.
was so good. Everybody loved the meat. Like it's just an amazing beef stick. I don't like it's just so good, but it's very known. Like if you eat it, you're like, oh, that's it. If you eat it with your eyes closed, you're like, oh, I know exactly what this is.
You know what it is. Yeah.
And so to put that on the tacos was really fun. They turned out really good.
Oh my gosh, that sounds really
And honestly, it was just like a random idea because we were hosting a baby shower at my house, and I was like, well, the beef sticks sound great, but they take a long time to assemble. So I was like, what if we just put it on different beef and grilled it? And it turned out great.
Oh, that sounds so good. Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to tell him that because we have flank steak and stuff. And that would be probably really, because I have a carne asada recipe and that would probably translate to that. I think I have some of the stuff in my freezer my mother-in-law gave me still. When she comes to visit, they live about a couple hours away. She'll always bring stuff for us to freeze and use. So I might have to request some more.
Yeah, you'll have to let me know if he's like, oh, that's a cool idea, or if he thinks it's cringeworthy. He's like, no, you can't put that on anything else.
No, he's pretty much like, if it's easy, it's good. So
nice.
That's good.
Okay, Ashley, we love to close every podcast with the same 2 questions. So
actually, I wanted to ask one more.
Okay, I wanted to ask one more. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Amanda.
just kind of a sideball question. But Ashley, we get to talk to a lot of hygienists, and we're kind of out there in the social media space. And it seems like there's so many hygienists, and I kind of want to say younger hygienists that just are trying to get out of hygiene, that don't love hygiene or have been burned out or just have had a bad experience, and they're looking for that way out, or they're looking for that side hustle. So you've been practicing for about 20 years, you said?
20 years next year. Yeah.
How's your body? What are things that you've done to kind of stay in the game, not get burned out, and still enjoy what you do?
I think one of the things I always was, and although as of late, not so much, try to work out too. I think that helps, and I have always had really bad posture. I have a very long torso, so I'm always like this. Ever since I was little, my grandma was pulling my shoulders back to stand up. But I think core work, strengthening work helps. Even if it's just at the end of the day, going outside on a walk by yourself too, because I know people talk about meditating and things, but walking and that stuff is a form of meditation too. I think just keeping yourself moving is good. I've also, one thing they hammered in us in school was if you can just work 4 days a week, just work 4 days a week. And I pretty much kind of stand by that. I'll work 5 days here and there if it's needed, sometimes around the holidays or something. But I try to just do that, because if I worked 5 days a week, I would be a dead zombie. There'd be no, this job is just so physically and mentally taxing, because you're on stage the whole day. So, but I think those 2 things have really helped out a lot. And another thing I think too, when they're young, you can get really easily discouraged about, just if your experience has just been 2 offices, that's just 2 offices, just go somewhere else, And the thing is, people are so worried about also finding a full-time job at one office. It's work at 4 different offices. Who cares? Because you're probably not getting great benefits anywhere else, and if you don't like a place, just quit, I think you can do that now because we're needed, but you have to stick with something, because I don't think I was even confident in my hygiene abilities until maybe, whether they say it's a couple of years after graduating. I mean, it's called a practice for a reason. No one's perfect, it takes years. I mean, still there's times I miss stuff and I go back and my doc's like, oh, and she just picks up the scaler and get it, and she's just like, and but then there's sometimes I'll see things that she did, because she was doing cleanings for a lot because her office was open, and but no one's perfect, and I think they come out with this certain idea it's going to be a certain way, and the real world is obviously never that. But don't give up too soon, or if you go to another office, or temp, you can see a lot of different things temping. But I think some places I may have stayed too long just because you felt loyal. But you know what? You have to look out for yourself. If it's not right, go somewhere else. And if you've done a couple different offices and this is really not the job for you, then you're young enough. You can still go back to school, but you need to get out there and put yourself out there and just not let one or two experiences ruin everything for you.
Yeah. No, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So,
Ashley, I'm curious, do you wear loops?
I actually don't wear loops.
Wild.
Well, and it's funny because I have pretty good vision. I've always had good vision. I don't wear glasses or contacts or anything. And I was going to get loops in school, but I can't remember what happened, if I was like absent that day. We were like getting fitted for something, and I never got them. And it's funny because my grandma even offered to buy them for me, like after I graduated.
Aww.
She's like, I'll buy you your loops. And I was like, I'm okay. But I do use I use a headlamp, and the LED light, like everyone needs
Game
to have
changer.
that LED light, like it's, like when you get HID lights in your car, you remember driving back when they just had like the halogen lights and the HID lights. Now it's like, it's like a beacon in the dark. You can see everything. I think everyone needs that. That's amazing. But I think maybe at some point in time I will get loops, but I don't think I can have anything too zoomed in. Like my mom has told me one thing, like her and my dad started using readers in the past couple of years, and they're like, our eyesight has gotten way worse. And my mom's like, I feel like that's going to happen to you if you get loops. And I was like, well, if my eyes are going anyways, why not get them? But I think at some point in time I might need them, and I probably should get them for my posture. That's if anything, but no, I don't. And it's funny because people look at me like, how can you practice without them? I'm like, I don't know. I've been doing it 20 years, and I feel like my doctors and I have a pretty good rapport, and they told me if I'm messing up too much, I would need them, but no one said anything to me. So,
I always had loops,
mm-hmm.
but I have not always worn them.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I know. And it was because, so the first loops I got were in school 10 years ago, right? And they were too heavy on my face, and they would cause migraines. So I was only wearing the loops if I were doing like skilling and root plating. Or like perio maintenance, where I really needed to read the probe like super accurately, right? So I wore them like selectively. It was not like all day long. Then I got into an office that was brand new, and the overhead light was beautiful, just like the new car lights we're talking about. Like the overhead light was just amazing. I could see so well. I didn't really use them much, like at all. I could see so good. And then I decided, okay, I do want to like work on my posture. I'm gonna get a pair of loops, and I'm obsessed with the ones I bought. Amber Auger, she did like a post about them, and I like saw those loops. I'm like, those are the coolest loops I have ever seen. And so they're like the dragonfly loops, but they have the battery.
Oh yeah.
And you think like, well, the battery in the back, it's going to be heavy, right? But actually, I feel so balanced between the back and the front that it doesn't cause any migraines. It feels like light as a feather. And so for me, it took me a few years to find the right pair.
I remember seeing those, and I was like, oh, those are really neat. My doc has the one that you tap on and tap off too, and like she really likes that one. But my lights have the cord with the battery pack, and that was annoying at first, but now I'm used to it now, and I don't think I could ever work without that. Like if my battery's like dying, I've got two batteries, but if one's dying, if I forget to plug it in and it's dying and I have to use the overhead light, I'm like, oh,
it's the worst.
I'm like, it's just
I
like
felt that. I know what that feels
Yeah,
like.
loops without the light almost aren't worth it.
no,
Yeah.
No.
If I ever get them, they're gonna have the light on it.
Yeah.
So, for sure.
All right. We'll do the closing questions now, Josh.
Okay, I like where you took it, Amanda. All right. So Ashley, we want to know what topic or concept do you wish you learned in school that you learned way later on in practice?
Oh, hold on. I wrote something down for that. Let me remember what I write in that. Okay. I wish they had told us that we were okay, I have a couple of things you're a work in progress. You're not going to be perfect when you graduate. You'll learn things now. I mean, I know things now I didn't know back then, and you're learning every day. And that's one of the things I think working in any field, you're always, as long as you're open to learning and learning new things, and you can't be too hard on yourself, and give yourself some grace. No one's perfect, And then another big thing is, because I think you come out of school and you're like, I'm going to help this person. I'm going to do this. You can only help people who want your help. You can, because some days I'm like, okay, this person's not receptive. I'm just going to say what I have to say. I'm not your mom. This is what you need. Done. I can't care more than you about your mouth. I'm not your mom.
I feel like you and I have so many of the same sayings. Like, I have told my doctor, he's a brand new grad, I'm like, you can only care as much as the patient.
Yep.
You just can't.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't, no. And I think I wish they talked to us about navigating insurance more, because of course it's gold standard in school, but that's not, this is real life, you gotta see, everyone's different, and they only want to do what insurance covers, and blah, blah, blah. And they should have been more realistic with us. I think they were I understand why they taught that way, but that's not the real world. And also discussing, I think one thing, even before you get into hygiene school, you think, oh, this is just going to be a great job, and it's great for, working moms or this and that. But you know what? They don't talk about, you don't get is small businesses, benefits and things like that. They're like, oh, well, you can ask for this and this, but in reality, small businesses don't offer a lot, and you have to learn how to barter and, sell yourself and ask for things that you need. Because when I came out, I remember I was just like, my parents were like, what are you going to do about insurance? I was like, I didn't think about that. I just thought about what I'm going to get paid. And so I think it would be good for anyone in school, for college or school, to learn about that too. Because I think that's something that they don't know and talk about. And I didn't know a lot about it either until I met my husband and I've been together for a long time. We met like literally a couple months after I graduated. And so he was really good about navigating that stuff, because he had, graduated before me. And so he helped out a lot too. And also about, retirement. You need to start something for retirement, like ASAP, because a lot of offices don't offer that. So you have to think long-term, not short-term. So I wish in school, I think they just needed to talk about that stuff more too, not just clinical skills.
Life stuff.
Yeah, life stuff, and particularly to dentistry, because, there are corps out there that do offer things like that, but a lot of the small offices, they don't, because they can't afford to. So you have to do that for yourself too. You got to take care of yourself. So that's the one big thing. Learn to take care of yourself and put yourself first too. So.
All right. Second question, last question. What piece of advice do you wish you could go back and give yourself as a new graduate?
Don't stress out so much. It's not worth the stress. It's, if you don't like a job, you can always quit and go find another one. Life is too short to be stressed out about things too. And start retirement early, because I did not start anything till I met my husband, and I'm thankful for him because he takes care of all that. But start that early. Put things away. I know when they graduate, they see those dollar signs. They're like, I'm going to buy a new car. I'm going to go on vacation. Nope. Just have a financial plan for yourself.
Sounds like you're married to advice.
Someone should have gave me that. I am like a teenager with a debit card.
Man, my husband is always like, where would you be now without me? And I'm like, I don't
blissfully happy. That's what I would be. Thank you.
I'd be like probably living paycheck to paycheck and flying by the seat of my pants still. So yes.
Love it. Ashley, thank you so much for carving out time for us today.
Yes,
We
it was
appreciate it.
fun chatting with you ladies.
Where can our listeners find you, Ashley?
It would be best to find me on Instagram because I have my link tree there that's got to Etsy and everything else. And it's just Ashley Kear art. I think I have it down underneath my name there. It's just like that. So that's my Instagram handle, and that's the best place to find me. I am on Facebook too, but it just, a lot of that just cross posts with the Instagram. It just goes to that too. But Instagram.
Yes, if you have Instagram, I say follow Ashley Kear Art because it is so cute and fun. And
I was going to say, follow me because I do giveaways like quite frequently. I try to do those.
I know. I entered in on the rainbow flag.
You did the pride one. Yeah, good.
Crossing my fingers, I get that one.
Oh, girl, I'll send you one anyways. I'll send you one.
Lovely. Maybe I could talk you into sending me two.
Yeah.
I want to put one in the office and then one in my fridge.
You too, Amanda. Message me. Let me know. Message me. Let me know.
Awesome. All right. Have a good night. Tell your family we said hello.
Also yours too.